What is going on, everyone? Today is the 22nd. It is Friday. It is the end of the week, and we are ending the week up 846 bucks today. Basically recovered yesterday's loss to barely end the week up. Um, I think I'm ending up the week like 1500 or something like that. Nothing crazy at all, especially considering I'm still in drawdown. Almost out of drawdown though, luckily. Yeah, right around 1500 bucks of drawdown left. But yeah, dude, today was terrible, horrible day today. I know. I'm just gonna get into it today. So coming into, market open, looking at the hourly, checking everything we got. Immediately, my eyes are on all-time highs. Immediately on all-time highs, just because we're so close. I highly doubt that we won't reach all-time highs. Like, bro, we are 200 points away. Very likely that we could make this move in one singular hour. Like, look, this 1 hourly candle at 1 p.m. was 240 points. We could easily do that. And honestly, I was expecting market open to just straight rip to all-time highs. But yeah, so that's what we have. All-time highs is my draw at that time. We inversed this 1 hour, but we reclaimed. I don't know how many people really believe reclaiming gaps is a thing. Personally, I sometimes take it into account. It depends on market conditions, man. Honestly, everything depends on market conditions. But we have this hourly gap that we inverse. However, we kind of reclaim this. Now, what I'm interested on is this gap. Do we make a gap right here? Because if we do, let me delete this. We will have this BPR gap right here. We have this 1 hour inverse and then this 1 hour gap right here that's about to be made. Call this a BPR gap, balanced price range. Very likely for a price to respect that area and move higher or move lower or whatever may have you. On the 30-minute, let's see what we got. This inversion, these two inversions, and we have this bullish 30-minute right here. And on the 15-minute, what do we have? This 15-minute right here, small 15-minute. I'll mark out this one. This is the first presented 15-minute on this leg. First presented gaps are pretty high probability in my opinion, but it depends on market conditions, depends on the trend, what are we doing, etc. So London highs is right here. What do I expect to happen? Not really quite sure. We also have this data wick. This is pretty key. We have this 812 random news candle. This random data wick that also lines up with this first presented 15-minute gap on this leg. So I'm pretty interested in seeing this data wick get taken. Maybe something like London lows get swept and then we head for this data wick. But market opens, what do we do? Straight rip higher and we sweep out London high, and I'm not sure. I do not recall what ES is doing at this moment. ES already swept London high. ES is near its all-time high as well. So this could be prime time to short, but again, I'm just kind of watching. We have this inversion that could potentially play out to these lows. It all depends what this price wants to do. So boom, massive close through, and we get this inverse. Honestly, I would have shorted this. I don't really recall what I was doing, but I was not on the charts at this time, so I did not take this short. But this short would have been down to this data wick low for a 2.81, would have ended up the week nice and well. However, massive stop loss, 56 points. That's pretty nuts. Not something I'm confident in taking. So I did not short this, even when we retraced. Yeah, I could have shorted right there. That's what I remember. I remember getting on charts and being right here, 946, and not shorting. That's what I remember. So I'm thinking maybe we see continuation. Maybe we see 10 a.m. open. We did have that minor 10 a.m. news. Let me just go ahead and look that up. It was revised Michigan consumer sentiment. Orange folder, nothing crazy. Nothing to boast about. What happens? Absolutely nothing. Boom, 10 a.m. Turns out this was major fucking news, dude. Look at this. You're talking 100-point candle. That's insane. But again, 10 a.m. shows zero opportunity to short. Now, we have no top wick on 10 a.m., meaning one of two things. I could either expect this to go down into this 15-minute gap, and this would be our bottom wick on 10 a.m., and then we would continue higher. or I could expect this to come down, manipulate, create a top wick, and then come down. Either way, both scenarios include bouncing from this area or TPing at this area if you were short. So I'm just waiting here. Honestly, don't expect to get tagged into either play. Kind of just waiting to see what happens in this area. I do recall we create another hourly gap. It is very tiny though. Yeah, here's our BPR. Boom, there's your BPR gap. We tap into the BPR gap, sweep New York AM low. I'm pretty sure ES is also near AM low. Yeah, ES also sweeps New York AM low. And I still don't take anything. I'm not really confident in anything I'm seeing, especially because we're battling this 5 minute. Now, I do remember from yesterday and a couple days ago on Tuesday that when we have a 5 minute gap, even with bearish displacement, after leaving some swing lows, it's not very high probability to continue the short. So rather than shorting from this gap, I just stepped away like I said I would from then on and kind of just waited. Now this does end up playing out down to this low, so we do get another resweep. There we go. We resweep that low and we tap this first percent 15 minute gap. Boom. Inverse. This is perfect. And why is it perfect? Hop onto the higher time frame and let's draw out our range. So from this swing low to the swing high, we tap into OTE, the first presented 15 minute gap, and we sweep data wick. Long, all day. Now, the reason I did not long this is, I don't know. I have no good reason as to why I did not long this. I had a limit set right here. This is where I was going to set my limit. And I was obviously going to TP minimum New York AM high or all-time highs. That was going to be my final draw for the day. But what do we see happen? We get this 1 minute BPR gap, respecting this first presented 15, respecting the hourly. After I saw this bounce off of the BPR, I set my limit on the inversion and on the BPR gap. I set my limit here, and I'll just let you guys see, man. Never get tagged, ever. Never, ever get tagged. The entire session, my trade never gets tagged whatsoever. So either there's all-time highs. All-time highs doesn't get tagged. Literally nothing gets tagged, man. Absolutely nothing. And boom, session ends. We tag in last minute, but I mean, market's pretty much over. Like, market's closed at that point. So nothing there, dude. Absolutely nothing there. So I never got tagged into that trade, is what I'm saying. So let's go back here. Okay, flying without me. We're obviously very bullish. We missed this 5 minute CISD by a tick. Had we made this, I would have took it. Would have had a higher stop loss. I would have been fine with it. Probably would have put my stop on the respect of the BPR gap. Would have gotten tagged in at least, but did not get that. So I'm going to look for a continuation. I'm going to act as if I'm already in longs. Where would I put my stop and profit? How can I get a continuation on this? But obviously, as you can see, we get no pullback whatsoever. Never got tagged in. We get this chop. We never get this pullback. We never get anything that I'm looking for. And get this little SMT area. Just terrible. So what do? We edge AM high right there, and we start to pull back. And boom, we tap into this 15 minute gap. Now, the downside to this is that it is so far up into the range, I do not expect this to play out whatsoever. But because we are hyper bullish and we are so bullish on this leg up, I'm expecting some follow through. So let this play. Boom, I get tagged in. I actually got in with 5 micros. So, and the reason I did 5 micros is because it is usually a very wide stop. But, this time it was such a small stop. It was like 20 points, I believe, off the inversion. So I was like, instead of risking 2 micros, I'll risk the same $200 I usually always risk. Go for, AM high and then, all-time highs. I'll do 5 micros. on this trade. Boom. And this was what I was confident with risking. We also had an SMT at, these two, this low right here with ES, and we're trading inside this 15-minute gap. Boom. Tagged in. And I wanted to see a quick closure above this 5-minute to see a 5-minute change in the state. That's what I want to see. I want to see this swing low get taken out. We'd get a 5-minute change in the state right here. And if we got this, I would have been happier with this trade, okay? But what do we see happen? Price fails to close above that. So I said, okay, if we close above this, we should be good, because ES just made another SMT at this time between these two lows. So now we have lunch opening up and we have an SMT down there. I told myself, if lunch opening does not give us clean, strong follow through to these highs, I'm going to exit at break even or just exit in general when I start CS wicking. And what do? We start wicking. We don't get clean follow through higher. So when this candle closed, I believe, is when I closed my position. Yeah, when this candle closed, I closed my position, closed right there. And yeah, dude, it was a good fade, good close. We got no follow through, got out before anything happened. And that was pretty much it. I got off after this because, if we're not going to get some follow through after we edge all-time highs, then I don't really want to be in this trade. I don't want to be in this session. I don't want to trade this. So I just got off, and thank God I did, because there was not a single clean move back into the highs this entire session. We had some news come out there, more news come out there, and then ever since AM high got swept, we just straight melted down, but it was very, very slow up until market closed, obviously. So overall, today was just terrible price action. If you took this, that's great. This was a good setup. This was good PA, but price action was terrible in the sense that we just got no follow through and no delivery whatsoever. And the delivery was insanely choppy and based off news. Now, this week has probably been one of the worst and most frustrating weeks of PA I've ever seen in my life. And that is justifiable because of the lack of news. Do I expect next week to be better? I don't know, man. Let's find out. What's next week looking like? Here's Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Thursday might be good. Friday, nothing. I expect next week to be absolutely horrible again. So it's pretty unfortunate. Can't really trade every single day. Can't trade every day that I want to. And it sucks, dude. Like, I understand preserving capital, but at the same time, not moving forward and not moving back, same thing, bro. You're standing still. You need to move, period. You don't move forward, you don't move back, you don't learn anything. And so just standing still, not taking a single trade, not really helping. So overall, I'm happy with this fade. I'm happy with my reasoning for fading the trade. Usually I'm a set and forget kind of guy, but when we're this high in the range and I take this much of a low probability setup on a Friday, I'm going to manage my position accordingly. And this is brutal. This is terrible. This isn't something I want to see or look at or honestly be a part of. So I just got out, and yeah, man, hopefully Monday's better. But I'll see you guys on Monday. Hopefully Monday I have better news, and hopefully this P&L will look a lot better. Hopefully this balance will be over 500 bandos, but we shall see when the time comes. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday.